Hello, this is Texas Style Cuisine. I'm Chef Johnny, and tonight I got my wife with me, Libby, and she's going to show you how we make our venison pepper steak.
One of the reasons we're going to use venison tonight is because we continue to be spending a large amount of money on meat at the grocery store. So this year Chef went ahead and was able to put 2 deer in the freezer. So we're going to go ahead and use some of that meat tonight. We're going to try to make a really quick meal for you because I am a working mom, and so the last thing I want to do when I get home is spend a long time in the kitchen. You should be able to prepare the meal in about 15 minutes. Cook time will be about 30.
Now, we've already done a lot of this, and you could prepare a lot of this ahead of time. So we've already sliced our onions and sliced our bell peppers. All that's already done. Of course, we did that off the camera just a minute ago. So I'm just going to take my meat tenderizer, and I'm just going to pound this steak on each side a couple of times. Flip it over, pound the other side. Now that's ready to go. It's just going to tenderize that round steak just a little bit. My wife's getting the oil ready for us, and we're going to show you how we get this breaded up and get it ready to go in.
We've got a mixture here of flour, salt, pepper, and just a little bit of garlic just to season that flour up. So we're going to go ahead and dredge the steaks in the flour just very lightly on each side, and then we're going to drop each one in the flour as we go. We just want to do enough just to coat it.
And while we're doing this, we still try to use our dry hand and wet hand method. So we use one hand to reach into the flour, one hand to reach into the meat. That way we don't wind up with big balls of flour on our fingers. So we try to get that done the best we can. Now we're going to start getting our meat in. Our oil's good and hot. And all we're going to do is just brown this side. So we're going to put it in, get it brown, flip it over, brown the other side, and then we'll add our other ingredients. And we're going to try to get it all in here. You got to kind of pack it in sometimes. And there's not a lot of oil in this pan. There's just, maybe 1/4 of an inch of oil was in it. So not a whole lot. Once we get this meat brown, we'll get back with you and show you the next step. Time to get this flipped. So Libby's going to turn everything over here real quick. And you can tell it's just lightly brown is all.
Just enough to keep the flavor on the meat.
Kind of trying to seal that flavor in is what she's trying to do. Brown up that side a little bit.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add my seasonings. I've got about 1.5 teaspoons of garlic. This is garlic powder. I'm going to go ahead and just sprinkle it across the top of the meat. And I like to put my dry ingredients in first. I've got 2 teaspoons of salt and about 1 teaspoon of pepper, black pepper in here. I'm going to sprinkle that on top. And then we went ahead and just used what we had in our refrigerator. This is pepper steak, so obviously we're going to add the onions and the peppers. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add my green pepper.
We have about 2 bell peppers in there, and if you look, you can see these real small slivers. What that is that was a nice large jalapeno, and I sliced it very thin, so we want a little heat in this. So there's our peppers, onions on top of that. A nice large onion just sliced up.
We had some Cremini mushrooms left over from the other night, so we went ahead and we're going to throw those in also.
And these Creminis, I don't know if you're used to eating. These are actually, you'll see them, you'll see these marketed as baby bellas because they're small portobello mushrooms.
This is a regular can, about 12 to 14 ounces of diced tomatoes. I actually prefer the petite diced tomatoes, but they didn't have those at the grocery store when I went shopping the other day. So we have regular diced tomatoes, and then I'm also going to add about a cup of water in here. We're going to wait for this to come to a boil, and then we're going to go ahead and cover it and turn it down low, and we're going to let it simmer. We're going to start with about 20 minutes, and then we'll check it, and then we'll go from there. You can probably hear and also see that this has now come to a boil. So we're going to go ahead and cover this with our lid, and then we're going to turn it down on low and let it simmer for about 20 minutes. Well, we simmered about 20 minutes and I checked, and we actually needed a few minutes more. So I set it for another 10. So it's been a total of 10 minutes. So
A total of 30 minutes.
Excuse me, thank you. A total of 30 minutes. As you can see, the vegetables are all cooked. We've got a nice little sauce kind of gravy in here, and the meat's nice and tender. So we're ready to eat.
Everything's off the stove. We're ready to go. We have some homemade mashed potatoes that we're going to put on our plate. Libby's going to take care of that. So get a good amount of potatoes on there.
Make a well.
There you go. A little well to catch all the drippings that we're going to have. And we're just going to scoop up some of this venison. And we want to make sure we get the juices down out of there to go on top.
Yum, that looks so good.
This is looking pretty. And we've got some green beans that we've cooked up to go with it. So we'll put those on the plate. And there you have it. That's our venison pepper steak with mashed potatoes and green beans. Do we need to give it a try?
Oh yeah, I'll
Let's
go
try
first.
it.
It's really, really good. Yum. I'll get some of this meat. Oh, hot. Perfect.
Now remember, this dish is wonderful with venison, but you could also use beef with it. So whatever you have, if you want to do this with a round steak or something, it would work great doing it that way also. But we did with our venison tonight. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you go down there and give us a thumbs up. We always do appreciate those likes. Remember to subscribe our channel and always click that notification bell. So every time we put up a new video, you'll know it's up there. Also, share us with your friends, share us with your family, share us on your social media. And we're going to see you down the road on Texas Style Cuisine.
Sitting by the wagon when the sun come up this morning, bacon, eggs, and coffee, biscuits, and beans. Cookie strikes the bell and he rings the world a warning. How them boys put food away beats all I've ever seen.